But we want to kind of stay in the Gulf of America, Caribbean, what have you here. We got to go to the Dominican Republic for some major updates on a story we have been following now for almost 2 weeks. We have a live picture there outside the courthouse in the Dominican Republic, and I believe this is in Punta Cana, not Santo Domingo. In the meantime, though, remember the case of the missing University of Pittsburgh student Sudiksha Konanki. Well, the person, the young man who was last seen with her, has now been embroiled and implicated, and questions have arisen about what he knew in relation to her disappearance. And he has been in the Dominican Republic since all of this has unfolded. He appeared before a judge today there in the DR, and the judge just ruled that that man last seen with her, with Konanki, is being unlawfully detained in the Dominican Republic. And so wanted to let you get up to speed on this. We did hear from the parents of Konanki today outside their home in Loudoun County in Virginia. She vanished, remember, 2 weeks ago in Punta Cana, and her parents asked authorities there to declare her legally dead. Now, in a letter to Dominican police dated yesterday, her parents state that after an extensive search, local authorities believe that Sudiksha, she was 20 years old, drowned. Now, a police official who was not authorized to speak about the case confirmed today authorities received the letter. Now, Michael Chapman, the sheriff of Loudoun County in Virginia, where the Konankis live, said in a statement today, officials have been working with Dominican authorities and continue to review evidence in the case here. But that is the news today, that Riibe is his last name, Joshua Riibe. A judge has agreed that he is being unlawfully detained in the Dominican Republic. I want to put this post up on social media. Nate Foy, Fox News correspondent, our friend there, with it, saying the judge has agreed that Joshua Riibe is being unlawfully detained in the Dominican Republic. He says this: there will be another hearing on March the 28th where Riibe is expected to receive an explanation about the location of his passport. Foy also reporting he can move around freely within the Dominican Republic in anticipation of his hearing on the 28th. So, this is seemingly slow moving. After the result of this court hearing today, Riibe can now move around freely within the country itself, but he can't leave the United States just yet. Maybe that answer will come at the hearing that's scheduled for the 28th about whether he can get his passport back. This was the scene earlier today there in the courtroom, I believe in Santo Domingo there, where you had lawyers who were representing Riibe there. His father also testified on his behalf, his father there on hand for this. And so we did hear this. Remember, there was Spanish and English going on there in the courtroom. I do want to let you listen to the moments, I believe, this answer came down from the judge there in the Dominican Republic. Let's listen.
To the Dominican judiciary and all institutions involved in the Joshua Stephen Riibe case for recognizing and upholding the rule of law, ensuring respect for his fundamental rights as a foreign citizen in the Dominican Republic. From the outset, our firm was retained by the Riibe family to defend the fundamental rights and ensure compliance with due process as established in Article 69 of the Dominican Constitution. We sincerely appreciate the cooperation provided by the U.S. Embassy's consular agency in Bávaro, which has supported the family throughout this process. As a leading firm assisting foreign clients in the country, Guzman Ariza reaffirms its commitment to defending due process and protecting the fundamental rights of all individuals in the Dominican Republic, both citizens and foreign nationals. We firmly believe in the importance of preserving the rule of law, not only as an essential principle of justice, but also as a cornerstone of trust in our institutions and the image of our valued tourism industry. We acknowledge the professional solidarity to the family of Sudiksha Konanki during these difficult times, joining in the collective hope for her safe return as soon as possible. Thank you. Muchas
que se va hacia los Estados Unidos, puede salir, puede volver a su país.
No que le regresen el pasaporte, ¿qué van a hacer con esa decisión? Muchísimas gracias.
Solo para confirmar, significa que puede volver a los Estados Unidos.
All right, so very brief there. That was the lawyer of 22-year-old Joshua Riibe there explaining his case and what the judge had said there. To so many reporters gathered there, and I misspoke. That's not in the capital, Santo Domingo. It is in Punta Cana, the resort town there. And also, Joshua Riibe's dad, he was on hand for all of this alongside of his son, and reporters tried to catch up with him as well. He said no comment. You didn't get to see this live. We want to show it to you now.
They're not going to give you back the passport to your son. So are you going to appeal?
Sir, what would you say to parents who are contemplating if their kids should come here for spring break?
No comment, and respect the Sudiksha's family.
No, about your own son's situation, sir, how he's been treated.
No comment, and respect the Sudiksha's family.
Are you able to take him back home?
I don't even know where he's at.
Okay, so you heard there a lot of the reporters shouting questions at Joshua Riibe's father there, but he said no comment. He also extended his condolences to the Konanki family here. So just a little bit more about this case, if you haven't been following it very closely. I want to let you know a little more details. So this judge there in the Dominican ruled in favor of Joshua Riibe's writ of habeas corpus in the March 6th disappearance of Sudiksha Konanki from a Punta Cana resort. He appeared in court today. He's been held in the disappearance of Konanki. She's 20, and she's been missing since the early morning hours of March 6th. So he has not been named, remember, a suspect in the case. This has been considered a missing person case from the very beginning, not a criminal one. He's 22 years old. He appeared with his father, as you just saw, as prosecutors there argue that the witness's freedom has not been limited while he's been held in the Dominican after his passport was confiscated, and that he has the right to walk around the resort there without issue. So he's no longer being detained or in detention within the country itself. He's free to travel around the country, from my understanding, though he does not have his passport back just yet to return to the United States. So it was not immediately clear when he would be able to leave the country. Remember, Nate Foy reported in the conclusion after the hearing today, there will be another hearing, March the 28th, where he is expected to receive an explanation about the location of his passport, and he can move freely within the Dominican Republic until then. So what, today is March 18th. That's in about 10 days' time, where we'll get more answers, hopefully, on his status in returning to the United States. But remember, I had said, and we had reported earlier today, that Konanki's parents spoke outside their Loudoun County, Virginia home and had asked authorities to officially declare their 20-year-old daughter dead, citing the cause as drowning here. So in the meantime, remember, we've been speaking with our Fox 5 DC team about this story. David Kaplan there speaking outside the Loudoun County Courthouse in Virginia. And that is where Konanki's parents live. They spoke to the media. You can't imagine the grief they are going through right now. I want you to listen to this, though. This is from her mother and father.
Through too much pain all these days, and we were saddened, and we were not able to believe this.
Okay, so that was her father very briefly. We have another soundbite here as well. Let's listen to this.
As per authorities, right, we have not, they are saying that the waves were, as per their investigations, we believe 100% in the authorities' investigation. The conditions on the waves, the ocean.
Okay, so I wanted to let you listen to some of those sound bites there from Mr. Konanki there, and you saw her mother, and you can't imagine, like I said, the grief that they must be going through right now. This has been an ordeal, a saga for them since March the 6th, when their daughter Sudiksha had been reported missing. She was last seen, remember, on that surveillance video, walking, though, with Joshua Riibe, 22 years old. And so if there are any more updates, we've been relying on Nate Foy down there in Punta Cana in the Dominican ever since this story broke, and we'll continue to do that.